Hey there, champions. Welcome back to another Read Aloud. We are reading Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume, and we're on Chapter 7, The Flying Train Committee. This is Part 3, and hopefully we'll be able to finish this chapter tonight. And here we go. The next day, when I came home from school, I went into my bedroom to see Dribble like I always do. Fudge was in there sitting on my bed. "Why are you in my room?" I asked him. He smiled. "You know you're not supposed to be in here. This is my room." "Want to see?" Fudge said. "See what?" "Want to see?" "What? What are you talking about?" I asked. He jumped off my bed and crawled underneath it. He came out with our poster. He held it up. "See?" he said. "Pretty." "What did you do?" I yelled. "What did you do to our poster?" It was covered all over with scribbles in every color magic marker. It was ruined. It was a mess, and it was ruined. I was ready to kill Fudge. I grabbed my poster and ran into the kitchen to show it to my mother. I could hardly speak. "Look," I said, feeling a lump in my throat. "Just look at what he did to my poster." I felt tears come to my eyes, but I didn't care. "How could you let him?" I asked my mother. "How? Don't you care about me?" I threw the poster down and ran into my room. I slammed the door, took off my shoe, and flung it at the wall. It made a black mark where it hit. Well, so what? Soon I heard my mother hollering and then Fudge crying. After a while, my mother knocked on my bedroom door and called, "Peter, may I come in?" I didn't answer. She opened the door and walked over to my bed. She sat down next to me. "I'm very sorry," she said. I still didn't say anything. "Peter," she began. I didn't look at her. She touched my arm. "Peter, please listen." "Don't you see, Mom? I can't ever do my homework without him messing it up. It's just not fair. I wish he was never born. Never. I hate him." "You don't hate him," my mother said. "You just think you do." "Don't tell me," I said. "I mean it. I really can't stand that kid." "You're angry," my mother told me. "I know that, and I don't blame you. Fudge had no right to touch your poster. I spanked him." "You did?" I asked. Fudge never gets spanked. My parents don't believe in spanking. "You really spanked him?" I asked again. "Yes," my mother said. "Hard?" I asked. "On his backside," she told me. I thought that over. "Peter," my mother put her arm around me, "I'll buy you a new poster board tomorrow. It was really my fault. I should have never let him into your room." "That's why I need a lock on my door," I said. "I don't like locks on doors. We're a family. We don't have to lock each other out." "If I had a lock, Fudge wouldn't have gotten my poster." "It won't happen again," my mother promised. I wanted to believe her, but I really didn't. Unless she tied him up, I knew my brother would get into my room again. The next day, while I was at school, my mother bought a new yellow poster board. The hard part was explaining to Jimmy that we had to start all over again. He was a good sport about it. He said this time he'd make sure his truck didn't look like a flying train. And I said this time I'd make pencil marks first so my letters didn't go uphill. Our committee met that afternoon. Sheila didn't mention the last time. Neither did we. Me and Jimmy worked on the poster while Sheila copied our written work into the booklet. We'd be ready to give our oral report to the class on Monday. Not like some committees who hadn't even started yet. By 5 o'clock, we had finished our poster, and Sheila was almost done with the cover for our booklet. Jimmy walked over and stood behind her, watching her work. After a minute, he yelled, "What do you think you're doing, Sheila?" I got up from the floor and joined them at my desk. I took a look at the cover. It was pretty nice. It said, "Transportation in the City." Under that, it said, "By Sheila Tubman, Peter Hatcher, and James Fargo." And under that, in small letters, it said, "Handwritten by Miss Sheila Tubman." Now I knew why Jimmy was mad. "Oh, no," I said, holding my hand to my head. "How could you?" Sheila didn't say anything. It's not fair, I told her. We didn't put our names on the poster. But the cover's all done, Sheila said. Can't you see that? I'll never get the letters to go so straight again. It looks perfect. Oh no, shouted Jimmy. We're not handing that booklet in like that. I'll rip it up before I let you. He grabbed the booklet and threatened to tear it in half. Sheila screamed. You wouldn't! I'll kill you! Give it back to me, Jimmy Fargo! She was ready to cry. I knew Jimmy wouldn't tear it up, but I didn't say so. Peter, make him give it back! Will you take off that line about your handwriting? I asked. I can't. It'll ruin the booklet. Then I think he should rip it up, I said. Sheila stamped her foot. Oh, I hate you both. You don't really, I told her. You just think you do. I know I do, Sheila cried. That's because you're angry right now, I said. I couldn't help smiling. Sheila jumped up and tried to get the booklet, but Jimmy held it over his head, and he's much taller than Sheila, so she had no chance at all. All right, I'm going to stop there. We'll finish it up next time. I hope you guys enjoyed that chapter. It's almost over, and we'll be on to Chapter 8, The TV Star. And I wonder what that's all about. And then we've just got a few chapters before the story's over. I hope you all have a good night. Sleep well, sweet dreams, and I will see you all next time. Good night.